The Soul's Advice podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land in which this podcast is recorded, the Confederated Tribes of Coos, Lower Umpqua, and Siuslaw, and pays respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Hello, welcome to the Soul's Advice podcast, a place where you are seen and heard on a soul level. I'm Kristen Nilsson, and I will be your guide. Through channeled teachings, spiritual wisdom, and practical advice, you'll strengthen your connection to your soul's essence while remembering that you are here not to fulfill a human agenda, but a cosmic one. Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. This is episode 9, and we're going to talk about the importance of play. When I say the word play, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you? For me, I think of children playing and being 100% their authentic selves, not caring about selling their artwork on Etsy or not caring about being considered productive while they're just trying to play with their dolls. Unfortunately, as adults, play becomes something of a low priority, I've found in my experience. And the idea of play and incorporating that into our lives is so critical for many aspects of our being, let alone our physical body, but our energetic and emotional bodies as well. I mean, play is a neurochemical reset. Engaging in play releases those dopamine within our frontal lobes, helping to induce that joy and build a more connected brain. There's many studies out there that talk about how play actively changes your biology, reducing your cortisol, fostering your neuroplasticity, lowering the risk of burnout. Hello, been there. And boosting your problem-solving capabilities as well. Play has so many benefits, and we don't do it enough. So I want to talk about a couple of different sequences and images that I've seen in Reiki sessions that helped spur this episode. So usually play, and when a client is not getting enough of it, it shows up in a blocked sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is below our belly button. It is where we hold all of our emotions. It's our connection to joy, pleasure, creativity, our inner child, and that innocence that comes with being a little child. And so in a couple of these sessions, I've seen one was really beautiful. It was my client as a little kid, and she was diving off of a diving board at a public swimming pool. And the lifeguards sitting in the chairs all around her were angels, archangels. They were inconspicuously sitting there with bathing suits and angel wings. It was hilarious. I never know what I'm going to see in sessions, but it was like trying to bridge the ethereal realm with the practical, which is what they usually do for me. So it was comical. But the message that came through very loudly was, why are you so afraid to play? We are always protecting you. And in this particular situation, my client has a lot on her plate. She has a big family, children. She has 2 jobs. She's trying to start a creative business. She has an aging parent that she's caring for. There's just a lot that she has going on. And one would think from the outside that she would have absolutely no time for play. And she was burnt out, to say the least. And so her angels were trying to get her to realize that part of the reason why things felt so heavy is that she was choosing to avoid play and to not make any time for play and joy. And she was just telling me in waking life that she was feeling guilty about, not having time or energy or strength to be able to play with her kids when she comes home from her second job. And she was just burnt out and wanted to go to sleep and ignore everyone. And that's been happening a lot for her. And so this message of play came in even stronger because we have this idea in our minds that play means not being productive or play is frivolous when I have XYZ on my to-do list. And maybe it is sometimes. There's obviously responsibilities that we need to uphold within our lives. But in order for us to connect with something greater, to connect with our essence, to connect with that inner child within us, we have to invite in and allow in play and joy. And that could look different for everyone. Play doesn't have to mean 2 hours doing Legos or, watching 5 movies with your kids in a day, but it could just mean laughing, watching a funny YouTube comedian and laughing for 5 minutes, or allowing your kids to put makeup on you or whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be a huge time commitment, but it should receive our undivided attention when we're doing it. And we shouldn't expect an outcome. I'm thinking about how a lot of times when people don't have hobbies or they think they want to incorporate one into their life, their brains go to, oh, well, if I'm going to be using these watercolors, maybe I can create a business out of it, or maybe I can sell my art, or, how am I going to monetize this is something that I hear often. And, I appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit, being one myself, but when was the last time you let yourself just get lost in a funny book or get lost working with your hands and not thinking about everything else that you had to do? It's so imperative for our mental health to be able to incorporate joy and play and connect to that innocent side of us. This sense of dread and responsibility that comes with being an adult. And, I completely understand. I am one myself, but we can get lost in that. And then next thing we know, days, weeks, months go by, and we haven't done anything for ourselves to really spark joy. We haven't seen a concert, or we haven't allowed ourselves to have a dance party with our friends or kids, or just smell the flowers in our garden as opposed to weeding and doing all of the productive things to keep it going. Life has become so serious, and I often hear this message of, how can you remove distractions and carve out time for play? If you have 5 minutes to scroll Instagram or Facebook, which again, no judgment or shame, I am definitely guilty of this, then you have 5 minutes to sit with yourself and be still. Or you have time to play your favorite song and just sing as loud as you can. Whatever you need to do to help offset some of that seriousness in your day is going to help your mind, body, and soul. And another image that I see, or that I've seen in client sessions, which had a beautiful message next to it, was for one of my clients who had lost her best friend when she was in high school. And my client was on a swing set being pushed by the childhood best friend who had crossed over. And my client was gleefully screeching on the swing. Her friend was laughing so hard, trying to push her higher and get her to drop her shoes, have them fall off. And it was just such a beautiful, innocent image of two children playing without any rules, any repercussions, any worries. And so the message that Spirit gave for my client was, how are you expected to fire on all cylinders and be perfect in other areas of your life when you don't allow yourself time for this belly laugh and this joyfulness? And it just helped her to see where she needed to maybe find some more balance in life. And she was working so hard at a project and, building a house and trying to get everything going with that she hadn't let herself enjoy and have fun with the idea that she was building a house and making it a fun, joyous experience. It had become sort of a chore and a job. And I think we can relate to that. There's something to say about letting life get in the way and neglecting our needs of joy, pleasure, and fun. And so I hope that this episode inspires you to have more fun, whatever that looks like for you. It could be 1,000,001 things. But in order to grow, some more neurons in your mind and reduce your cortisol, I really encourage you to spend some time playing today, this week, and into the weekends so that you can raise your vibration and in turn raise the vibration of others around you. Just like laughing and laughter, play and fun is contagious. Try having a dance party alone and have everyone, obviously probably join in with you or, looking at you and might think you're crazy for a second, but then they end up wanting to play and have fun with you. And next thing you know, you're laughing and listening to your favorite song. And it's just a whole moment that is a core memory that you'll have with you forever. So on that note, how are you going to play this week? That's the invitation. Thank you so much for being here and for liking, sharing, subscribing, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I will see you next time. Take good care.